And that's what positive energy does. I mean, it cultivates everything around you.
Oh, you guys gonna be episode 20? Nice. Look at that. 2-0. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on? Welcome into another episode of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. In the hot seat this week, I got the power couple of Peoria. You like that, right?
Yes, I like it.
I have Ezra and Chanel Murry, the founder and co-founder of Peoria's Fashion Week, happening this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What's going on, guys? How we feeling?
Good. Thank you for inviting us out, Ross.
Of course. So the KZ Community Beat is a podcast where we go around town, find individuals pouring back into our community. I've been notorious about finding activists and all these other mental health, but fashion is not a lane I've gotten into yet. So let's talk about Peoria Fashion Week. Ezra, you're the founder of it, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. To give some backstory of who I am and what I do, I'm Peoria born and raised. I do photography, videography, lighting and sound, DJ, and also some graphic work as well.
Everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you just created by nature?
Pretty much, yeah.
How'd you get that lane? It just kind of came up?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was huge into the arts. I can remember as early as the earliest thing I remember was I had to be around. This was before kindergarten. I remember I used to draw all of like my family in the dirt. In the playground.
Just in the ground? I was like, you made them out of dirt?
Yeah. So we were living on Knoxville in Glen Oak Apartments. And, that's right next to, I believe it's Northmore, Hines, or that school there. And I would go there all the time and just create stuff in the dirt. And then my mom, she was just like amazed by it. So she used to give me Legos. And then sure enough, I would build like these buildings and all kind of stuff out of, and I always wanted the smaller Legos. I wanted to go smaller, so I could keep creating and make it, different and put windows in it.
Yeah.
And she loved it. I mean, she just thought it was just amazing.
I'm sorry, but the fact that you said that with like I'm a body language type of person. Mm-hmm. And you went from a calm, cool, and you talking about something passionate. Now you got this big old goofy smile. Like, I just want the biggest Legos. I love that, man. Because you got a passion. Like, that's cool. And they've always supported it.
Yeah. So my mom was huge with it when I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge thing she wanted to keep touching on. She wanted me to be an architect. Like, she loved that I was creative, but she wanted me to go in a certain lane with it, like, so by the time, let's say I was 11, 12, I was into music at that point. So I was writing songs, and my stepdad, he was huge into music at the time, and so he was able to get me into some studios and stuff like that, which I only did a couple songs, but I found a huge passion for the tech side of it. So I'm seeing these huge mix boards, and I'm seeing this person, manning this level, pressing this button, and I'm just like, ooh.
As soon as we walked in there, he pointed out the microphones. I'm like, all right, cool. I know they speak.
Yeah, he goes into his nerd mode a lot, and I'm just like, and I don't understand anything he's saying.
Stop lying. You know that's like beautiful. You're like, go ahead, my little nerd.
So yeah, with that, I ended up really getting hard into sound engineering, and from there, it got me into learning, because I was always huge with music, right? So one of my friends, he was like, man, you should DJ this party. I'm like, DJ? They're like, yeah, you should DJ. I'm like, what's a DJ? And they're like, man, it's a party, man. You got some turntables. And then I'm like, where am I going to buy some turntables
the
at?
Greatest description ever.
Literally.
This friend.
3 weeks later, because I was always working. Or had some kind of
some
independent,
hustle, something.
He's
something
being
going.
very modest. His friend, at our last panel discussion in the mall, his friend outed him about what he was doing.
What was he doing?
He was selling cars and flipping them. He was buying cars and flipping them, and that's how he was supporting his music DJing.
I had a job
as a kid. You were like 16?
Yeah.
16.
Just buying
cars and flipping them.
I mean, hey, There's a saying in Spanish, si no tienes ganas, no ganas. If you don't got the will, you ain't going to win.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Si no tienes ganas, no vas a ganar. You're not going to win, brother.
Yeah.
So you found a way.
Yeah.
And you still were able to pursue the creativity aspect of it.
Yeah, it just
That's
opened.
dope.
It just opened lanes. I mean, it went from DJing to then doing photography, and then graphic design. A lot of the stuff that I was paying people to do, I just thought about like, man, like I could probably take some classes and learn this stuff on my own. And then sure enough, like by the time I was 20, I'd say by the time I was 20, I was doing all of these things as like a solo act. And people would think that I had like a team behind me doing this stuff, and it was really just me.
How'd you keep it together? That's a lot to do.
Honestly, my mom kept me really grounded a lot. Almost like a Kanye story. I mean, I'm not all the way there, but
I know if you want to go down that lane,
but you know,
careful.
it's like, you know, it's
I know
like,
he good now. He saw 22 Jump Street.
but you know, it's almost like, you know, everyone, you know, like, oh well, you know, when he lost his mom, you know, it's like, you know, but it's like a lot of times we really don't realize. A lot of times our parents really keep us grounded. Because they know us, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they want to see us do better. And sometimes they just, you know, they'll give us a push, and they'll kind of steer it a little bit. But, yeah.
I know my mom kind of forced me down the lane, and I fought it.
Right.
And here I am. I'm happy with it. So,
right.
Chanel, what about you? Have you always been into fashion?
So I actually was in California. I'm from Oceanside, California, and I actually was with a model agency when I was in middle school, John Robert Powers, and it was a very big, well-known model agency. However, they were scamming people, and my mom was one of the moms that got scammed. She spent a lot of money on me. I was doing all kind of commercials. I was doing, you know, and I was a very small kid. And I remember them telling me, like, you need to lose some weight. And I'm like, what?
More weight?
But when I was sitting in those rooms with the other models, they were almost bones. But, you know, in the 90s was a different type
That's pre.
of model. Yes.
What was her name? Had the TV show all the time.
Tyra,
Banks?
yes. It was pre-Tyra, because Tyra really did open that door
She did.
for curvy models. And
Curvy colored models, actually,
yes.
when you think about it.
Yes.
Most definitely. So I didn't really stay into it much, but I definitely dibble-dabbled in the music scene. I was with a recording studio out there called Urban Records. I was a singer. And when I moved out here, I even had a band. But, you know, when you become a parent, you kind of got to veer into the lane of where your kids are. And so was it like 3 years ago? 3 years ago when our daughter started modeling?
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, our daughter started modeling, and she loved it. And with us, we go 130% for our kids. So we would take her all these places, and she would walk the runway. We actually entered her into a pageant, Teen Miss Illinois Earth, and she won. So last year she was Teen Miss Illinois Earth. And
That's amazing.
And through that, she was able to go to New York Fashion Week. She was able to meet so many people. And really, that's what really opened up a lot of doors for Ezra, too, in just understanding the broader spectrum of fashion, or of like having a huge fashion show.
I mean, New York Fashion Week,
Yeah.
that's a different level.
Yeah.
That's like Met Gala, kind of. Like, New
Yeah.
York is known to be the mecca of, like, fashion.
They literally have a street where the designers that come there toss out all their fabric, and you'll see like up and coming designers going through the bags and pulling out leather, and it you know, like I'm saying, like it's really good material, and the up and coming designers are like, okay, we're gonna go through these bags and find. Yeah, it's
that chaotic?
It's that chaotic.
Well, I'm an outsider. The best I got is maybe like a nice clean fedora and some Nikes, you know what I mean? Like, which is good for me. But I didn't know it was to this degree of people like taking that. You know what I mean? Like,
but
give me that fabric.
But when you're a starving artist and you're trying to make a way, you're going to do what you can. You got to do what you got to do. So, you know, in any instance, I think that's just how we are in general, you know. And so I didn't look at it like, oh my gosh, they're digging through trash. I looked at it like they're going to make it one day, because they're taking these huge measures to get there to where they want to be. So, So, but when our daughter got into it, that's really when I started like doing a lot of studying about it and learning, because I was super momager at that point. And then at the end of last year, she just was like, "Mom, I think I won already." That's what she said.
I won already, that's it?
And she decided she didn't want to do it anymore, so now she's a designer.
How old is she?
She's 15.
So you just have a family of creatives right now. How does that feel, though? Like, as individuals who were creative, still are creative, doing a bunch, to now see your children doing that also.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel?
Sometimes it's chaotic because we're all, house full of creatives.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's chaotic. But when we're all on one accord, we make beautiful things happen. So Peoria Fashion Week is one of those beautiful things that came from all of these creatives being under one roof.
So, Ezra, how did you come up with the concept? Because this is, 3-4 years now going that you said?
Yeah. So I was already originally just doing midnight runway shows for my birthday. And
what are those for those that are not initiated like myself?
Yeah, so it was something to where, we have a party, let's say from like 10 to 2, and I would stop it, and at midnight it would be like actual like runway kind of like fashion show thing, like in the middle of a party. People said I was crazy for even thinking about it, but it actually turned out to be really, really, really
That's how
good.
all the amazing ideas happen. Somebody is like, nah, that's wild, that wouldn't work, and then it does.
Yeah. So I had the idea of, having the models come out, but also having the performers on the stage at the same time. So it's like a synonymous, the performer is doing his or her thing, and then the models are also interacting with the performer as they're walking out, and as they're walking up, and as they're walking out. So, and that was a huge thing where it was like, no, what? Why would you even? That's not going to work. And then sure enough, like once it all came together, it was just like, wow, like that. This was really beautiful. Like, this was so fun. Like, and so the first one went really great. The second one, and honestly, how Facebook has like the whole like memories thing. So I was able to look at, man, like where, it all started. I literally just had a thought, and at that point in time, I only had like a couple lights and and a couple speakers. So like it looked really small. And then like the next year, I had like a whole track spotlight system, a bunch of speakers. Like it was just,
it just grew tremendously.
It was
in the
just crazy to see how fast that the growth was and how much support I was able to get from, the community as well, and how much of a positive response that they were feeling, because they're like, hey, you're giving the kids and also adults that want to get into this, you're giving them something to do, and it's in a positive light, so
Of course.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then also once we went to New York, when we were out there for those days, I was kind of like you when it came to the thought of New York Fashion Week. I thought it was more of a local type thing, right? Where it was only New York designers, only New York vendors, only but as I was out there working, because I had my camera with me everywhere, and these people, they would just, when you're media out there, you're like, she'll tell you, like, I was getting pulled, like, hey, we need you over here, hey, so like,
we were also getting in shows for free because of his camera, so thank you, honey.
the skills you taught yourself on the side got you in the New York Fashion Week for free. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And also just having good jeans.
So because I got asked to walk for like 3 different shows, and I'm like, I'm not a model. They're like, but you can be.
and I'm in the background like, yes, tell him. Like, you both 2 models, and I'm just here. I'm good.
Oh man, she was in the back trying to sell me. She's like, take him. I'm like, I'm not a model.
But like, from just an individual standpoint, how was that for you, from going to people telling you your concept would not work to being validated in New York? Like, that's a big, and you're born and raised Peoria.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I'll say it's huge. It's huge. It's a great feeling. Not in the means of like a malicious intent, as if to say "ha" in your face. Not like that, but 2%, like
2%.
But it's like
you gotta have that little 2% Kanye.
But it's just beautiful to say that, like, hey, babe, like we had an idea and we pulled through and made it happen.
It was your idea. I just used this certain skill set that I have.
Oh, she's Liam Neeson now.
But you grew up Peoria.
Yeah.
You made the concept happy, Peoria. It grew. You met an amazing woman. You have an amazing kid. She's now succeeding. You're in New York, and all the success is just coming through. Yeah. How do you maintain the cool head?
Again, that's straight up mom. Mom was there for everything. Everything.
She was just on it.
My wife, she was such huge support. And she just wanted everything to go like right. My wife had everything written out. She's like, hey, it's Monday, we need to be doing this. It's Tuesday, we need to be doing this. And sometimes, when you're in the chaos of everything, because literally Times Square during Fashion Week is chaos. Mm-hmm. So if you think that you're going to get somewhere in 15 minutes, think again. So, it was a lot of, but I got to be here, and we made it work. And, my mom, she was just there to support us. She's just like, hey, hey y'all, I got it. Maybe I can be over here, and then hey Ezra, you go do this. Hey Chanel, and it was beautiful for us to have that support, because if it was just us out there, I was
a mess. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared someone was gonna snatch my child. I was a mess.
Bear.
I was a mom beast.
Yeah.
It was more than a bear. I was a mom beast. I had to go take a nap because my anxiety was so bad.
That's another thing. As a creative, most creative individuals I've come across, myself included, deal with anxiety to a degree. We all have our own variables to it. But as you're getting success, how is that also impacting the anxiety?
I think... Not that I think, that was a great question.
No, thank you. I watched Oprah growing up.
Right, that's why you do this.
I want my star. But no, seriously, like jokes aside, you just open up about anxiety.
I think, for me at least, seeing the organizing that we've put together, that we've collaboratively worked on together, with a couple of other people that came in on our organization skill, just having that organization there helped my anxiety a lot. So my husband, on the other hand, he's a creative that's like, you know what, I think we can get a rocket ship and go to the moon. And I'm just like, but logically.
Oh, you in the clouds pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
He'll come to me and he'll be like, oh, babe, what about this? And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, who's going to pay for this? So I'm more of like when it comes to the creative part.
Logistics.
But
you need that balance.
Yeah. So I try to make sure he gets everything he asks for. But if it's a little bit crazy, I'm just like, listen, we're going to have to take this. We're going to have to table this. Let's look at this another time.
Ooh, that leads me to another question. As a couple that lives together, married, with a kid, all this, and working together, how do you find that balance between here's the couple intimacy and here's the business finance? Because there has to be some bleeding lines.
Oh, my gosh. Man. Yes.
And, navigating those conversations and, let's be honest, arguments sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Communication, comprehension is important. So how do you guys handle that?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
I just want to let him talk first.
I'll be completely transparent with it. When it first was a thing of us working together business-wise, we bumped heads a lot. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to anybody. That was HE double hockey sticks,
He's not lying.
Yeah. But you know what? Over time, over the years, I think that we've just learned to be accepting of each other's ideas. We've learned to be patient. Patience is really what I feel like has gotten us to a point to where, if I say something she doesn't agree with, it's not an automatic, oh, that's just, she's like, I hear you, but, so like, patience,
He's being very nice. I'm stubborn. I am very stubborn. So.
But he knew what he fell for. He knew. If not, he found out.
I'm very stubborn. It has to make sense for me to be like, okay, I'm down.
Well, it seems like it's a partnership between you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's amazing to see that, because, working and living together is difficult. It's challenging. For any other couples that are doing it, that listening right now, they can attest to it.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had the pleasure or the pain. But it seems like you guys are making it work.
Yeah.
3 years down in the game. Like, that's amazing to see the growth. So how's that feel to see from where it began? Because it seems like you guys were together when that happened,
We were.
right?
Seeing his growth in general has been amazing, because I can look at his earlier graphic design flyers to what he makes now, and it's a complete different. It's a complete difference. So, and I know him, he will sit up for days studying something until he perfects it. And it shows in the growth that he's had. And even with the music, even with his sound and his lighting and all that other things, I'm really big on asking people for help. And so that's one thing that I really wanted him to start doing. So for this show, I made sure we had interns, because there's so many young people that want to know what he's doing.
Oh, so you have a full team.
We have a full team.
Oh, take me through this.
Oh, yeah.
What comprises this team, or who?
So
What type of variables do we have?
So we have a operations director. She's actually my best friend. Her name's Bree Johnson.
Shout out to Bree. Friend of the pod.
Yes.
Breezy.
And so because how I work, I just kind of work on so many projects at the same time. She's very like, okay, all right, did you do this? Did you get this done? What about this? Did you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. She's who I run all the logistics by after I create it, and then she starts picking at it like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this.
She's awesome.
She's amazing
with info consolidation.
Yes,
that's what
she organizes the organizer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who would have known?
So then we have model coaches, and one of them is Annette Williams. She's a stylist, and that's what she went to school for. She's actually had some of her styles go to New York Fashion Week. She was really big in the Oklahoma fashion district, or just the Oklahoma fashion in general. She did a lot of shows. She's worked behind scenes at a lot of fashion shows. So when I met her, she basically just sold me. And I was like, okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Shama St. Louis, who has been doing a lot of things in the fashion field here in Peoria for a while,
I've heard that
too.
name a few times. I got told that's somebody I need to talk to.
She's very informational. She had a lot of information.
Okay.
Yeah, she's...
Somebody told me I got to talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this team that's growing.
Yep. And then we have interns for the sound, lighting, and music part. We have interns for the model part. We have volunteers that have reached out and been like, I love fashion. I just want to know behind the scenes stuff. So we have teams that will work with each designer to help get the models ready and dressed on time. We have teams that are going to be working with Ezra with the lighting and the sound and making sure everything is stay going. And in the same sense, we're teaching all of them how to do what we do, because we don't want to do this forever. We don't. And if we don't teach the younger generation
pass it on.
Exactly.
Not only that, but you're helping them get real work experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it went from a dream that people are, shitting on, like, oh nah, to people like, hey, can I just learn?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, and I can't let a second go by without shouting out Geneva Wilson. Huge shout out to you. She came to me and was like, hey, your pictures are amazing. What do you do? Let's work. I'm like, come on. I'm like,
I've been waiting.
I do a ton of events, and I can't take pictures at all of them. I'm like, I got cameras. If you want to pick one up or whichever, I'm like, come on, let's do it. So ever since then, literally, she's just a huge bundle of just good energy. She shows up on time. She helps with any photo minded tasks. So yeah, if anyone is even looking for a photographer, Geneva Wilson, Is amazing. Geneva Wilson Photography. Yeah.
She's from my hometown too, Oceanside, California. Yeah. Us Oceanside people, we coming in and.
How have you two been able to find so many passionate people about fashion? And just like the production of it and the
Facebook. No, I'm kidding.
For me, for my job, I'm supervisor of community connections at the Peoria Park District. Before that, I was the operations director at Urban League. Before that, I was the program director at the Boys and Girls Club. So I do a lot of community things, and in these community things, always working with kids. We're in the high schools every Friday doing power lunches. And I'm always working with these kids, and we always ask them, what is it that you want to do? And if they say anything that we know, we bring them in and we help them, or they'll get their friends. We got Geneva through one of my mentors, Brenna. She's now officially a supermodel.
Mentee. You mentor her.
Yeah, I mentor her. Yes, mentee. She's actually now a supermodel. She went to New York Fashion Week. She was in 5 shows. She's getting paid to model. And one of the things that I tell her is she's not paying me for any advice. I need you to teach these other kids. And so now she's going to start, we're working on some things where she's going to start teaching what I'm teaching her to the younger generation. And so
that's amazing.
And so through our mentees, we get more people. Yeah. And then on top of that, even the adults, we're really big on helping other small businesses as well. And even through them, they'll be like, you know what? Call Ezra and Chanel. They'll help you. And that's how a lot of people have came to us. It's just through word of mouth. We don't make any statuses about it or anything on social media like, hey, for Peoria Fashion Week on our page, we did ask for anyone that wanted to internship for fashion shows. So we ended up getting a whole bunch of, people asking if they can help with that. But with that, I write them letters of recommendation. Ezra he pulls them in and creates a photo gallery for them so that, with the models, they have pictures for their portfolios, or for the designers, they have pictures for their portfolios.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And so it's really a lot of bartering. Yeah. And
rub my bag, I rub yours.
Exactly. Yeah. And we were given these talents to share. We do make money off of it too, but we also remember what it's like to be struggling. Yeah. And when we see other younger people struggling in it, they shouldn't have to if we've already done it. And if all they need to know is just a little bit of extra information, that's what we're going to give it. I actually wrote a grant as well for the Fashion Week, and we got it. And I walked my daughter through the entire thing. She knows how to write a budget. She understands a grant. She's 15.
That's great.
And these are all...
I don't know how to do that.
And so these are all things that, we pass down to all of the people that are coming in with us.
So who taught you this? Because you said, Ezra, your mom is an important figure in your life, right? She's the one that has helped you get to who you became as a man.
Yeah. My mom was very astute by that. So she worked at, it was then called Silco, but she worked at Ameren for 36 years. So she was, suit and skirt and heels everyday type woman,
Chanel suits.
Yeah.
He's leaving that out too. Chanel suits.
Chanel. Yeah, and he got with a girl named Chanel.
She was all about business, and so yeah, that definitely that taught me how to, because one thing about it, I never knew how much my mom made. I never knew really anything about her financial situation. I just knew that, hey, we got food on the table, roof over our head.
Santa Claus comes once a year.
Yeah, and it's like I learned from her how to be humble and just how to stay grounded. Even if I see $100,000 tomorrow, don't change. Don't change your habits. If you don't go buy a car. If you ain't bought a car in 3 years, sit on that money. If the car you have works, drive it out till it don't work no more. You know, like
That's what I'm doing.
you know, like,
2008 and up.
right. You know, so yeah. I mean, yeah. On that end, yeah, I was, and she'll tell you, I'm very like, you know, I'm just very.
She's very chill.
I'm very cheap.
He is
Cheap.
very
Cheap. I mean, like, cut the lights off cheap. Like,
yes. Okay. Yes.
Do you not know we got the lights off right now?
Right,
Right. You know what I mean? You're like,
Right.
ooh, he's saving money.
yeah.
I was gonna say,
I like him.
yes, no. When it comes to bills, yes, he's very cheap. But other things, he's not.
He's efficient.
right.
Economical.
So,
Chanel, what about you? Who or how many other individuals were impactful on your journey growing up that made you this compassionate for the community, the youth specifically? It sounds like you focus on a lot. 'Cause
Yes.
when we met, you were doing Fill the Truck campaign with
Yep,
Urban
Fill
League,
the
which was
Fire Truck.
amazing.
Thank you.
I love that. I was like, oh, that's amazing. But like, who instilled this in you?
My family. So I'm half Samoan, and I grew up with my Samoan family. And most people that know Samoan families, they are all about community. I think that's like one of the slogans, like family and community. We live to serve.
Samoa, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, I've heard
we
a
live
lot
to
about
serve. And so, growing up, you know, even though I hated being in church all the time, but we weren't just required to go to church. We were required to do community service. And I'm not just talking about a couple hours. I'm talking about there's a soccer tournament, and we're there at the crack of dawn, and we're leaving at the crack of dawn.
If Jesus is there, so is you.
Yes, and we're handing out food. We're patrolling the parking lots. My family was those people, but they were also very big pillars in the community in Oceanside, California, from where I'm from. We have some of my family's last names are street names now, and
Shout them out.
Shout the name.
shout out
the
to
name.
Vales. And so just seeing my uncles and my aunts and my mother, you know, just give as much as they can. One of my uncles growing up was the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, and I was one of the bad kids. So that's where all of the cousins that used to get in trouble all the time, our family would send them to the Boys and Girls Club. And so, and just because, you know, having that community and that family, you know, there was a lot of stuff I did, and my uncles would like get on me about it, and then they would teach me, and they make me cry too, but they would teach me, you know, I remember one of the punishments that my cousins and I that were the bad kids used to have to do is my uncles were they trained in NFL players. And one of my uncles is Junior Seau. So he had...
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you also related to the Usos and the Rock and Roman Reigns?
No. So Uso means brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I know you're talking about, yep. No, I'm not related to them at all.
Darn, I was going to ask for autograph.
And, well, Junior is actually my mom's cousin, but because he was so much older, we just called them uncles.
Yeah, we have that in Mexican Nation.
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, Primo, what's up?
Yeah.
No idea who they are.
Yeah.
Right.
And so one of the things that he did in our hometown was he started the Shop with a Jock, where the Boys and Girls Club would send out all their kids, and they would meet up with the football player and go and shop for Christmas for them and get them presents.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And a couple of my uncles also created cup stacking. Wayne Godney, that's my uncle. Yep, cup stacking was created. My family created cup stacking.
What?
Yeah, and then my uncle Junior, he also built a teen center at the Boys and Girls Club. We had a recording studio, we had a weight room. Yeah, and that's how my family would give back to the community. And so what made me so passionate about it was because I had my family that was on me about the things that I was doing.
That's amazing.
And also I know what it's like to be poor, and I know what it's like to not have any resources. And so I became very resourceful from learning from them. And so that's where the empathy comes from, and that's where my passion comes from, because my entire life is about serving others.
So we have two individuals here who are very passionate about just servicing and serving the community. That's amazing. How did you two meet? If you don't mind me asking. No, I'm asking Chanel. No, go ahead.
Man.
I don't want to get you in trouble. You don't know.
No, he knows. He knows.
No, bro, it was
Our stories are very different.
it was great. It was fun. It was hilarious.
And here we are. Okay.
So of course I was DJing. And earlier she mentioned my growth. Like honestly, when you first see somebody, in a situation like ours where it's like, it was almost like love at first sight type thing, which she's going to deny it because I didn't talk to her for like 3 months. But it's for a reason. But
strategy. Did he read in a book while he was learning guitar or something?
Right. He ghosted me. I was like, no.
Do you now see the blessing you missed out for 3 months?
know, right?
Oh my God, bro.
He's gonna tell you why though.
but
Okay.
But she was a bartender at the time, and shout out all the bartenders in the city,
Service industry.
Yeah,
Man, I'm telling you.
seriously,
They
man.
get me through my days.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Keep it up. But,
Poor stiff. No.
so yeah, I was
Drink responsibly.
right.
Exactly. Yes. Please drink responsibly and call an Uber.
Yes.
No driving.
So I was DJing and she was bartending, and my first time seeing her, my cousin was with me at the time, and I was like, "Hey man, you ever seen her around before?" And he was like, "Oh man, cuz that's Chanel. She cool. I mean, I don't think she from here. I just met her, but yeah, she cool, man. She a bartender, man. She make the best drinks, Ooh. So I was like, I'm gonna make her remember me. so I went up to the bar and
She rolled her eyes just so everybody knows.
I ordered the most ridiculous drink.
It was like vodka with
vodka
with
lemonade,
on vodka with lemonade
and a Sprite.
And there was something blue.
It was UV blue.
UV blue.
Ciroc UV blue.
And I thought he was
lemonade
crazy.
and Sprite. And she was like, when I said it, she was like, what? I was like, yeah. So look, Ciroc, UV blue, lemonade and Sprite. She was like, but why are you putting that together? Like, do you just want like a? And I'm like, no, I want because I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, you gonna remember me every time you see me, you're gonna be like, man.
And I would make him that drink every time.
Every single time.
Is it
She
a
knew
good
my
drink?
drink. She knew my drink, man.
He drank
She knew
it
my
too.
drink.
He's crazy.
Is it a good drink?
I don't know. I just knew she would remember me for it.
Did you drink it?
Yeah.
Yes, he drank.
He don't know. That's how, you know what I mean? It knocked him out real quick.
He made it through his shift DJing.
But I was also doing photos, right? So one night that I wasn't DJing, and I was with my brother, and I ain't gonna lie, He was like super sweaty.
I was just like,
man, I was lit. We were already at a bar, and I forgot that I did tell them that I would come and do pictures. So I show up, and I'm doing the photos, and then I see her. She's out like on the dance floor, and then like at this point, we exchanged numbers like months ago, but like I never called and stuff like that.
Why
so,
didn't you call?
Man, nervous, dog. So like, but I'm lit. I'm like, hey, what's up? So I go up and I give her a hug and kiss her on the forehead, and she's just like stuck. She's like, what? And I walk away. I'm like, yeah.
He's so annoying.
You got kissed on the forehead. You're like, huh?
Like, what happened? So I was taken back by it because I was trying to like start conversation after we had exchanged numbers, and I used to try to bring things that we did back in my hometown here, and I was like, oh man, there's no turkey bowl. We should have a turkey bowl.
Football,
we should do flag football. We should do rugby. And this was
reggae on the beach. There's
Yes.
no beach for reggae right here on the riverfront. We'll talk.
He can tell you, when I first moved here, I used to ask all the DJs to play reggae all the time.
Oh,
I need dance hall in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ezra, play some dance hall at Fashion Week, okay? Thanks, babe.
Thanks, new friend. I appreciate you.
Right?
Can't call you babe, bro. Bro.
Right.
Thanks, bro.
And I text him. I asked him, I said, hey, do you play football? I'm trying to get this flag football team together. And he goes, oh, I stopped playing football. I haven't played football since high school. And in my mind, I'm just like, what a weird thing to say. I didn't ask you all that. I just asked if you wanted to play this friendly game of flag football. And then after that, I think I sent him a couple more texts, and it was like 1 word replies, and I was just like, I don't have time for this. So then when he came and kissed me on my forehead, I was just like, I'm confused now. I think he's playing with me. I'm so confused.
He walked away like he just 3-point shot.
What he also didn't say was he was vetting to make sure none of his boys knew me.
Yeah.
That's what took him so long.
A 3-month probationary vet period. You know what?
90-day grace period.
I need to. I need to make sure you know any of my boys.
Right. And so when all of them were like, nah, we don't know her. That's when he came back and gave me a kiss on the forehead, and I was just so confused.
That was the validation kiss. Like, all right, we good.
So then we saw each other again at Soul Fest when who was here?
Was that Taste of Peoria?
No, it was Taste of Peoria.
Yeah,
Is it Taste Peoria?
Yeah.
I don't know if COVID kind of messed up everything.
Yeah.
But there was a taste. Hopefully, whoever is in charge of Taste of Peoria brings it back.
Cough, wink, cough.
And because it's a great time.
Yeah,
I remember
it was fun.
being very lit at Taste of Peoria.
Oh yeah.
And I ran into him again, and we just briefly talked or whatever, and then that was it. So then he found out that I started working at a bar on the South End, and he came in one day with his cousin, the same one that was like, yeah, that's Chanel, she's cool. And we were just hanging out or whatever. I didn't think anything of it. He asked me what I was doing after I got off work. I usually go eat at IHOP at 4 o'clock in the morning because that's my thing. And I'm like, you could come if you want.
It was IHOP in town?
There was.
Oh, damn. Why? Don't stop doing this.
I'm sorry.
Hey, look, we had a golden era about 9 years ago.
Yeah, we did. And to me, I thought I was just going, like, we were friends. I didn't think anything of it. It was a whole date to this guy. I told him, I was like, hey, I need to stop and get gas. He jumps out the car, pumps my gas. I'm like, what is going on?
Gentleman scholar.
So then we get to IHOP, and he like leans over, like not leans over, he's sitting across from me, and he like kicks his leg up, and he does like this really cool pose, and I'm just like,
he thought he was smooth.
He thought he was so I'm also 6 years older than him. So
rob the cradle.
So some of the things that he was doing, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a kid, you know?
It worked.
But our conversations were so bomb. We talked for like 4 or 5. The sun was up. He was supposed to be in Chicago or something that day.
Yeah.
You skipped it.
No, he went. He just didn't sleep because he was hanging out with me.
I got right on the road.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how I go. When you get a pretty girl, you get like the good conversation going. You're like, emotional trauma? What's up? Are we trauma dumping?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, and then he went to Chicago, and then when he came back, we just were never apart since then.
And then now you're 3 years in Peoria Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about Peoria Fashion Week now. Before we run out of time and everything. What big changes are coming this year?
Oh, man. So it's for one, it's more than one day,
which would be this comes out the same week.
So yes, Thursday.
Tomorrow will be Thursday, the first day.
Correct. No, it's next. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be out. Yeah, mathematics, numbers. We're recording a week prior. So then this is coming out the Wednesday of Peoria Fashion Week, and the following day, Thursday. Let's go. What we got?
Yeah. So Thursday we have Cultural Day. We're going to have so. This is the I gotta so
he's gonna stretch.
So
put the leg down, brother.
You know, right? So Cultural Day is and we both kind of collaborated on this, me and my wife. So the layout is that we have live music coming from a good friend of mine, Mr. Ryan Byfield. He's going to be playing some reggae. Live music.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he's good.
Thursday. I'm free Thursday.
For anyone listening, look up Ryan Byfield on Tidal because the artists get paid more if you stream it on Tidal.
Small plug. They're not sponsored, but I'll allow it.
Spotify, we need you to
If they
sponsor.
make you happy, then I'm good.
So yeah, he's going to be doing the live music. We're going to have Victoria Isabella performing with Arturo Vargas, owner of Casa de Arte. Yeah. So yeah.
Where they do the Latino nights.
Yes. Yes.
I've gone a few times.
Yes.
I'm shaking it.
Yes. So me and him, we met because we're both lovers of art. Art is huge. Still in me to this day, art is huge. Obviously, with everything that's going on. So he's going to be doing literally a huge live painting art piece
Thursday.
While she's singing.
And she's going to be performing on stage as that is going on. Ooh. Yes, sir. Yeah,
hopefully he lets me keep it.
Right. Yeah, so
Toss him a couple dollars.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So real-time art
Yeah.
while singing's happening.
Yes.
Just an explosion of culture and music.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And then we're going to end that night with one of our sponsors, Identified Royalty, is going to do like an Afro beats / reggae type of exit. They're going to do like a full like run through show with some creative pieces that company has put together, and that's going to be Thursday for Culture Day. Friday.
That's a lot for Thursday.
We tried to have it more, but when we started organizing, it wasn't enough time for the other cultures. So next year, probably I'm going to take a break in May, and then in June I'm reaching out to you guys. So.
Seriously, yeah.
I ain't going nowhere unless they kick me out. We'll make it happen. We'll talk.
Because I was asked like, why is it only the 3 days? I'm like, hey, I'm paying for all this out of pocket.
We really are. Yeah.
And with that being said, we're always looking for sponsors. So
shout outs last minute if you're listening.
Yeah,
tomorrow's the event.
yes. So Friday is going to be Youth Empowerment Day. So that's going to be really showcasing our youth around the city, youth designers, youth models. We won't have any performances that day. We just want to focus solely on kids. But for next year, I mean, we'll definitely be having more castings, and also be looking for, child performers as well, to be able to showcase next year for Youth Empowerment Day. So, so Youth Empowerment Day would just be a huge thing of, we have almost how many designers for the Youth Day?
5 or 6.
Yeah, and I mean these are like I think each one has almost like 15 or 16 kids. I mean, it's going to be pretty huge. That's Friday. Saturday is going to be the big shebang. All right.
Saturday.
So Saturday we've got the honorable, legendary Mrs. Janet Davis from Janet's Just For You.
So she used to throw some of the most beautiful, elaborate fashion shows in Peoria. Yeah. And she learned from her mentor who used to do them before her. Yes. And unfortunately, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, Miss Janet.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll put it in the bio.
Yeah. And so she's really been a huge mentor in helping me keep everything organized and things like that. She had stopped a long time ago because she's getting older and it's just a lot of work. And
she passed it on now.
Yep. And so she's been, like I said, very, very helpful. She's inspired me in so many ways, and she's inspired my husband in so many ways, and more so she feeds into us as a married couple. She keeps us in line, like, okay, listen, y'all doing business together, this is tough, but you guys are one at the end of the day. Yeah. And so her and her husband George, they like to stay on us because they've been there, they've been us, they've been doing this together.
They see you where they were.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the biggest things is, and I wish there was video or something. Everyone told me she was one of the coldest plus size models in Peoria.
And by coldest, she means most talented.
Yes.
Oh, for those uninitiated.
I'm sorry.
For those not knowing the slang.
Sorry, guys.
It's KZ1023.
Yeah.
You gotta know the link.
Yeah.
This ain't Wolf with respect.
Yeah.
I love you, Randy. You're awesome. But he knows. He'll get the joke. Whatever, man. We're all friends. But that's awesome, though, to have a power couple instilling that, lack of better terms, power back into you as the couple. Like, okay, let's make sure you're still on your P's and Q's. Let's give you some life lessons. Okay, now business.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, she's one segment. We also have, who's ending the night, we have the internationally awarded Nyla Couture.
How'd you land her?
She reached out to us.
Yeah.
And I was happy because... Shout out Nyla.
Friend of the pod.
Yes. Yeah. I was happy because it let me know, like, our marketing strategy was working. Yeah. And so, like, when we first came in, you know, I was kind of barking orders to my husband, like, we got to do this. We got to drop this on this day, and it needs to say this and this and this, and we need to do this on this day and say this and this and this. And I was driving him crazy. But then to see, like, the outpour of people from different states and cities reach out, like, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. How can I showcase, you know? So when she reached out to us, I was like, oh my gosh, Ezra, look. And we were looking her up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, her lines. She has so many different lines. I really don't know what she's bringing, but all of them that I've been seeing, she's been in LA for the past 3 months. Yeah. All of them are different and cold. Like, okay, all of them are really nice. And so...
they're amazing. I mean,
yes.
she's a trendsetter. I mean, that's why she has so many awards. I mean, she's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like, very creative.
But that's
very
beautiful.
Creative.
Like, you both are the yin and yang, perfect example of how this event is starting to become. Yeah. It is Peorian, but it's also a transplant. You have other people coming in, but you still have the strong Peorian culture that you're building. Like, that's beautiful in itself when you see the collaboration of both the cultures kind of swooshing in, because this community is more than just, we do have our Peorians, but like myself and Chanel, we're outsiders. Yeah. We're coming into a community, falling in love with the community, trying to empower it as much as possible. Like, how's that feel?
Oh, man, it's amazing. And also, too, as well, before I forget, also performing with Nyla's line is going to be John Gibbs.
John Gibbs. Why do I know that name?
Yeah. Awesome.
He's an international artist.
I know John Gibbs.
He's from the LA area. Cool guy. He's going to
rip. John Gibbs. Okay, my bad. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Again, if anyone is interested, look up John Gibbs on. I know. I'm sorry.
Spotify, Apple Music.
Check him out. Check him out on any streaming platform. Definitely Spotify. John Gibbs. But yeah, so what it feels like to do that, to, you know, almost create Peoria as like a fashion hub is amazing, man. I mean, again, just the positive feedback that we've gotten, not even just from people. I mean, we're talking, you know, CEOs and a good friend of ours, Mr. John Morris, huge supporter and
from Riverfront.
For Riverfront
Talk
Museum.
To him. Amazing cat.
Yeah,
he's actually the first person that we went to about this idea, and it was way crazier than what we're doing now. Yeah. But he kind of brought us back down.
Yeah.
Good man.
Great man. And he'll text us and be like, I'm so proud of you guys.
He's a good friend.
Yes. He's amazing.
Yeah. So
City of Gratitude, that's his thing.
So being able to so being able to you know, have that positive feedback, you know, from the people and from different entities and things like that is just amazing, man. It's something that I've always wanted to do because, of course, you know, Peoria a lot of times gets such the short end of the stick when it comes to, you know, what we are, you know, and what we represent and what we stand for. I know negative stories a lot of times get more interaction, but you know, we have so many positives here in the city. You know, we're still the city of basketball purity. We're still, you know, we are a fashion hub. We're just bringing more light to it now, but it's always been here. You know, we just have so many different positive things here. Our crazy high academic students, the ones at Richwoods, the ones at Central, the ones at Manual, the ones at Washington Gifted Academy. We have the positives here. Bradley University, so
ICC.
Yeah, so that's what I always wanted to do is say, you know what? Yeah, we're human. We make mistakes, but guess what? We got some great qualities too as well. And, my main thing is to somewhat at least help start the movement of, I guess, purifying the Peoria outlook. So.
Shining light to what's already here, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just helping improve where you can.
Yeah.
All right, 2 questions before we wrap. First one was business. Where can we find tickets, and how, if anybody would like to get involved for planning next year or becoming under the tutelage or training, how can they get in contact with you and find tickets?
We have a site, peoria.fashion. Is it peoria.fashion week?
It is.
Hold on, he's going to look it up right now because I don't.
It's
I was just buffering.
it is actually Peoria-fashionweek.square.site.
And on that site, you'll have even vendor tables. We actually are going to have a vendor fair as well in the Opera House.
Oh, nice.
And so we have a good amount of vendors, but we're still taking them. It's $30 a day if you want to come be a vendor. We're going to have a Bafa with 90.7. He's going to DJ the vendor fair, and it's just going to be a really great time. We really want to.
Cool peoples.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him next. I got him on the pod.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Did he just do an exhibit at the riverfront?
That was his brother. Marcus.
Marcus, yeah.
Yep.
2 cats I definitely need to talk to eventually.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. What else are you going to have?
Vendor fair, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all 3 days. And that starts at 1 o'clock. The vendor fair is going to start at 1. It's going to end at 6 because I do want the vendors to come and join the show.
Yes.
And so if you do become a vendor, you will get tickets to the show, 2 tickets to the show on the days that you'll be there. And so vendor fair. And then also, if you want to get involved with planning next year's, feel free to email me at info.deanna, DEANNA, Chanel, CHANEL, @gmail.com. And just give me about 24 hours. I'll get back to you.
You're pretty prompt.
Yes.
Both times I reached out to you, it was almost immediate.
Thank you. I try. I just understand,
Well, you have a lot going on. I mean, not alone business, but, wife duties and mom duties. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And definitely want to touch on the geographical layout of Peoria Fashion Week again. Just so people have a clear understanding of where everything is going to be. So the vendor portion is going to be in the Opera House. So a lot of us that, is familiar with the Peoria area and Expo, the Opera House will be the area for the vendors. The large building next door, the conference center, that's where we'll be having the main event. Yep. So just wanted to, make that very clear to those listening, where, everything is going to be.
Of course. All right, last question here. I ask this to everybody that comes through. I use this podcast as a means to collect stories of individuals. It's like books. Mm-hmm. And after every book, after every story, there's a lesson to learn, a lesson to gain from that story. So when everything's said and done, Chanel, I'll start with you first. What do you want people to get from your story?
From my story, I want them really to know that anything is possible as long as you have a plan and you stick to executing that plan. And of course, this can be another conversation, but the story that I have, when I first moved here, I had my daughter and 1 suitcase, and I didn't know anyone. I knew one person, but so I really came from nothing, and then to be where I am now with the help of my husband, of course, it's a success story for single moms, because I was a single mom for a long time, and like I said, that could be
5 jobs.
Yeah, I really was. When I think about it now,
now she got support.
Yeah. When I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I had the energy to do that, but really just create a plan and stick to it. Do as much research as you can. You need to be so obsessed with something that you want to make happen that you eat and sleep and breathe it and that's it, and it will come to fruition.
I can attest to that. That's how my career came out. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a life lesson. I mean, it's amazing to see someone go from child by herself with a suitcase to now being in a great relationship, a power couple, influencing the culture of Peoria. I mean, that's got to bring you a little sympathy, you know what I mean? Like a little, not sympathy, but a little emotions like, oh,
it does. I still feel like I'm not doing enough, though. So.
I feel like you've done enough. And what you're doing is just icing on the cake that you're already done, you know what I mean?
Thank
Ezra,
you.
Everything said and done. What's the takeaway from your story?
Follow your dreams, but realize whatever you want to do, the hard work has to be put behind it. There are days that there are some days I don't sleep. Today I'm running off of Mountain Dew and Gatorade Light or whatever that's called. It's disgusting, but oh my God, it gave me the energy.
It really did. He was annoying.
Oh man, I went from almost falling asleep to like up singing and stuff. I mean, I don't know what they put in that stuff, but
I was annoyed.
That might be my first and last time drinking that stuff. But yeah, I mean, know that the hard work has to come behind it. There is no such thing as a shortcut.
No, not at all.
And also too, if you take shortcuts, don't be surprised at what awaits at the end of that stop. Yeah, nothing can skip the hard work. You got to put the work in. But follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Do what it is that that you have in your heart to do. But just know that the hard work has to come behind that, and put people around you that you can actually trust. That's been the biggest thing for me is, once I got around people that I could actually trust and, that genuinely love me and just have my back, and I, do the same for them, because it has to be mutual. Once that happened, I mean, things literally just started to, in short time, just grow. And that's what positive energy does. I mean, it cultivates everything around you, so, I mean, keep positive people around you. If someone's always talking about the next person or something, leave that person where they are, or give them a number to a therapist.
I know a couple. Dr. Bernice Gordon-Young got something there.
There you go. Shout out to Miss Dr. Bernice Gordon-Young, her win.
Yeah, she just got elected onto the Peoria City Council.
Yes,
board,
at
right?
large.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
That was an amazing conversation about mental health we had last episode.
She's so dope.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's great to see good people getting good accolades. Yeah. But, I mean, speaking of good people getting good accolades, I mean, Ezra, to see it where it began to now and to see the contributors and everybody else coming into Peoria, into a town that you were raised in, and they're like, I want to be a part of that. Yeah. That's super dope.
Yeah. It's so dope.
You know? Yeah. So, with that said, Peoria Fashion Week happening at the Expo Gardens?
Yes, Expo Gardens in the Conference Center. Vendor fair will be in the Opera House.
April 13th, 14th, 15th of 2023, if you're listening. To go get the tickets, where at again?
So you can get the tickets online at peoria-fashionweek.square.site, or you could get physical copies. You could just text 309-571-7375.
All right.
Or you can pay at the door.
Yes. If you see me there, I will have a red fedora on, just to let you know.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yes. We actually have one of our designers that's designing fedoras.
Say less. Are you serious? I need a new one.
70, 89 fedoras.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did she put it on layaway? No, I'm playing. That has been another episode. Hey, man, you can take the man out the hood, but not the hood out the
Listen, I know that's right.
How do you stay rich? Act broke.
Exactly.
This has been episode 20. You guys are episode 20 with me. That's amazing.
Awesome.
I've been here now officially a year once this comes out. So thank you guys.
Congratulations. I remember when you first came.
I know. I met you when you first came over. We were talking about the event, and it's just amazing to see now the next endeavor that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
So that's great. I'm glad I finally got to meet you, man.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
happy to see you guys doing amazing. This
Thank
event,
you.
I'm going to be there. I got 2 passes. I'm going to go 2 nights.
I know that's right.
And then I
You
might
can
go
come
a
all
third.
3 nights.
Okay, I'll slide through that. What's up?
All right.
Episode 20 of KZ's Community Beats. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. Go back, look at all the other 19 episodes, and I will tell Santa Claus you were a good person. All right, I'm out. Peace.